Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm starting off with a clean face, starting with the Sui Pore Smoothing Primer. I like this because it actually fills in my smile lines, and I always have foundation settling in my smile lines usually. So this is a very new experience for me. This one actually doesn't settle, and it gives me a very nice clean base for when I put foundation on. I also learned this technique of putting everything on underneath foundation. So I'm going in next with a Lancome Universal Corrector in this highlighting shade. And I'm going to put this in all the points where I would typically highlight. I think if you're a paler skin tone, this will work as like an under eye concealer for you. But it's also a little shimmery, so I use it as an actual face highlight, as you will see. I've been using the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer in hazelnut for a while. I don't mind it. I'm not much of a concealer person, to be honest, so I can't really tell the difference between different kinds of concealer. I just know that this one is affordable and it works, so I use that. I use a brush first and then I go over it with a sponge. Now I'm using the Lancome Teint Idole Foundation in 550 Suede C. I've talked about this foundation before, but I always had I had the shade 555, but 550 is my actual correct shade. I like this foundation. It's not my favorite, as I've mentioned before. I definitely prefer the Estee Lauder one to this, but it's a good foundation, and I know a lot of people that really love this, so maybe it's just me. Next product is the Glossier Cloud Paints in Dawn. I really like the Glossier Cloud Paints. They're my favorite liquid blushes that I've used so far. I like how it gives me a touch of color and a little bit of a sheen too. I use it on my eyes as well, just because I was like, why not? And I like the way it looked. It just warmed up my eyes in a really cool way. The Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder in golden brown is probably my favorite powder I've tried. Usually I would go in with a brush so I can dust it lightly. I wanted to try using with a sponge. I will definitely go back to using it with a brush. I feel like I use a lot less product when I use the brush actually. But I like this powder a lot. I like the cooling feeling you get when you put it on your skin. It's good for dry skin in my opinion. My skin is dry and I don't hate it, so yeah. For contour, I use the MAC eyeshadow in the shade Embark and a fluffy brush. I just like the way this looks. It gives me a bit of a shadow without being too much. The Makeup Forever liner in Dimensional Dark Brown is probably the best brown liner I own. I found this from Nima Tang. It actually shows up on my skin. It's dark enough to actually create contrast when I use nude lip colors, which for me is just wild. That's the only reason I was able to pull off this super light color, is because this liner was so dark. So if you're a dark skin girl, I highly recommend this liner. Go over this with a bit of gloss just because it was looking a little too chalky, and this lip combo took a bit of working to make it finally come together. But then I go in and I set my face with the Absolute New York setting spray in Dewy. You can find this in any beauty supply store. It's also on Amazon, so I've linked it. I like it. I don't really have any feelings about setting sprays. I like MAC Fix Plus because it makes my skin look more skin-like. But this one is good. I think this one actually does give you a bit of a dewy finish. I then I went in and I did black liner. I threw on my absolute favorite mascara, the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara, which I have talked about literally endlessly. Still out here struggling with liner, but I love this mascara. You can actually see my lashes, and then I'm pretty much done. Thank you so much for watching this video. I have everything I used linked in the description box down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram, that's also in the description. And you can watch all my other videos too. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.